The One Big Beautiful Bill is now law, and as we've been reporting, it contained several positives for agriculture. That included improvements in the farm safety net and various ag-friendly tax provisions. One of those tax provisions is a tax credit for producing and selling transportation fuel in the U.S. Farm Journal's Michelle Rook looks at who will make money under 45Z. Michelle?
Tying the budget reconciliation bill extended the 45Z or clean fuel production credit to 2029 and made some other favorable modifications that will be a big benefit for U.S. biofuels producers and provide some handsome financial incentives for producing biofuels. The big question now is, will farmers be able to share in the revenue from this tax credit? And if so, how much? The budget reconciliation bill extended the 45Z tax credit for biofuels 2 years, and that included transferability of the credits, which helps smaller farmer-owned biofuels plants.
So that will enable small fuel producers to go out into the equity markets and be able to monetize the tax credit immediately.
Another change that will level the playing field for especially soybean oil is the tax credit will go to only North American biofuels feedstock.
That will protect some of the assets of the U.S. oilseed processing industry.
The exclusion of indirect land use change was also included, which Winters says helps lower every farmer's carbon intensity score.
Indirect land use change has been used by other countries, by certain analysts, to penalize fuels produced from U.S. grown, domestic grown crops.
Farmers can also lower their carbon intensity score on feedstock they raise through practices like no-till or cover crops. But to make money on 45Z, they'll be required to keep records.
It's the farmer data that brings value. So every farm is going to need to calculate its carbon intensity score, and that's field by field. That's going to have to get verified.
Horace says the farmers' lower carbon intensity scores will trigger the tax credit, but just how much will that equate to per bushel on corn or soybeans?
The average CI score would be worth about $1.02 per bushel in tax credit. Now that is tax credit to the biofuel producer.
So the farmer has to rely on the biofuels plant to share a portion of that premium, and Horace says it's still uncertain what that percentage will be.
The best I've heard is the farmer getting 2.5 cents per point per bushel, which is about 40% of the credit value, 45% of the credit value, pretty dang good.
So the devil will be in the details and the guidance from the Treasury Department, which the biofuels industry hopes will be released by the end of the year. I'm Michelle Rook for U.S. Farm Report.
Thanks so much, Michelle. Some great insights there in that. Now I want some reaction and some analysis from Peter Meyer with Muddy Boots Ag. Peter, this is a story we have been following with you for well over a year now. You were in the camp that farmers would get paid for their carbon intensity score, at one point even putting a dollar amount to that. Do you still sit in that camp today, or have things changed over the past year?
Well, things have really started to change a little bit. I mean, the first thing is that we thought that the tax credit based on 45Z, based on your CI score, could be as high as $1.75, $1.79, I think was the exact number. It's been so long that I forgot what the exact number is. And we thought that there was enough money there to be split between the sustainable aviation fuel producer, the ethanol plant, and the farmer. But now two things have happened. So in the most recent iteration of 45Z, the credit's been reduced to a little bit over $1 or around $1. And also the biofuels blenders credit which was $1, has been moved to the side. So when I think about $1, and I wonder, on the price competitiveness side versus kerosene or Jet A fuel, is the sustainable aviation fuel producer really going to give up much? The ethanol person, the ethanol plant is going to want some money as well. So as the pie gets smaller, I do worry about how much of that money is going to filter down. Now, there has been suggestions that the farmer may still see 40% of that money. If I was a farmer selling to an ethanol plant, I would make sure I had that in writing or figure that out with the ethanol plant. But I mean, there's still a lot of uncertainty here regarding the final ruling on this thing, as we're still in a comment period.
Yeah, so that was my next question. There is a lot of uncertainty. Are these rules finalized yet?
No, they're not even close to being finalized. As a matter of fact, the Department of Energy today put out a request in the Federal Registry looking for comments on 45Z subset B, which is anything that's not covered under 45Z. And that comment period, I think, closes within a month or so. Maybe it's 6 weeks. And their feeling is, from what I've read of it, is that they are going to wait until the end of the year for that. So, no, there is still a tremendous cloud of uncertainty. Now, what's nice about it is that 45Z has been extended for a couple of years. That's great, but I do wonder how long it's going to take to get final clarity on all this stuff, because we're certainly not there. We're still in a comment period. We're hoping to get something on the initial tranche of comments by the end of August. When it gets implemented is hard to say, and and then at that point, then it's going to be a discussion between your farmer and your ethanol plant to see, okay, how much of this money is going to filter down into my pocket.
Peter, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Some great insights there as well. All right, we need to take a quick break. And then there has been a slew of trade deals announced this week. We covered it in the news, but there are some more that we need to hit on, and one specifically that could impact the wheat market. That's an Ag Around the World next.
U.S. Farm Report is brought to you by the 5-year anniversary of Brevant Seeds. Here's to 5 years of not just winning, but collecting one game-changing W after another. See all our wins at Brevant.com/W.